Hello everyone, this is Nick Pierce. This is going to be instructional number 2. It's going to be on my traditional grip in blast bead applications and metal. A lot of people have known that this is not the conventional way to hold traditional, so I'm going to be describing what I have evolved to use this in blast beading and the metal genres. First off, conventional traditional technique has been held between your middle finger and your ring finger, and then you're using your thumb and the inside of your palm as the fulcrum. The way I use it is, if I was to remove the stick to get more power out of my blast, what I do is I open up these two fingers and I use this as a weight to get more power in my blasting. So if you were to close your hand like a conventional traditional technique and to whip your hand down this motion, you can get a feel for what that feels like. If you open those fingers up, you get more of a whipping motion. So it's like packing a can of chew. You got to slap that, and you got to whip it hard. So when I put the stick in there, if I were to use it and I'm just going to do a single stroke roll, I'll show what the transformation is from using conventional traditional technique to using my technique where I open up these fingers to get more leverage during blast bead applications. So I'll use a slower single stroke roll and I will work up the speed to where you can see those fingers kick out. So what you see is I'm going from a very balanced movement like this to when I get to faster tempos, it gets a little more sporadic when I open those fingers and things get a little more jumpy. So I use this specifically just for snare drum applications. So when I'm doing blast and this left hand is on my snare drum, that's usually when I'm opening up those fingers. And when I get to a certain blasting tempo, I move those fingers back in just a little bit to get more control at those faster tempos. So again, here's what it looks like. So my description in different like notations, when I'm doing triplets, I'm kind of accenting that first down motion. Just if you were using a molar in your right hand, which would look like this. Same thing with the left hand. So it cleans up when I put it into a single stroke roll. So this is in triplets. So the main function of opening up this hand is to produce that whipping motion and just get more power. Because in metal you want to have your blast equalized. So the same stick height with the right hand, just with the left hand. It changes up a little bit when I go to do tom rolls. So if I was to go from this pad to this pad, I keep my fingers closer wrapped to get that control. Because keeping it open allows more probability to drop that stick. So when I'm going from fast tom rolls like this, you'll see that I keep this finger on top. My pointer finger is always above the stick to keep it from bouncing up and out of control. If I was to keep it like this, it's still controlled, but when I get to more toms and doing a lot more quicker stuff around the kit, there's a much higher probability that I'm going to drop that stick or get it caught somewhere. So I always keep that finger on top when doing tom fills. When I'm doing snare applications, when I want to have that intensity with the left hand, that's when I keep those fingers opened. So a lot of people say that it looks sloppy, and it probably does to most people, but to get that power, I need to kick those fingers out. So that's why I use that, and that's why it looks like that when I'm doing that in blasting applications. So I'm going to work it from slow to fast again just so you can see it, and then I'll also do it in double strokes so you can see what it looks like as well. In double strokes, I'm not really kicking those fingers out. I'll keep it in a controlled range. But for blasting applications for single strokes, I'm going to keep those fingers out to get that leverage and apply more power. And then doubles. As you can see, when I'm doing doubles, I'm keeping that very controlled, and I'm keeping that finger above them. I'm not putting those fingers out. This technique is also useful for break beats. I use it a lot for just doing groupings of 3 or 4 when I want to have more dynamic and power. So I can alternate through doing small groups of 4 with my fingers controlled over that, or louder groups of 4 like that. So I'll play a quick little break beat, and then you can see where I use that application. And then if I were to play something slower where I can utilize more groupings of like 3 or 4, you'll see me kick those fingers out. So there you have it, and that's how I use my traditional technique for blasting and for breakbeat applications. Until next time.